Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the show, God's Health Plan for You. And let's praise the Lord for everything that we have. Let's give God thanks for all that we have and pray for one another and give thanks for everybody around us. Again, brothers and sisters, as it reads in 3 John, verse 2, Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in good health, even as thy soul prospers. Again, I greet you with love, joy, and peace. And today I pray, as always, that all are managing your life and your health to the best that you can with what you have. And if you need help, just reach out to somebody next to you, call on the Lord and ask for help, and He will bless you and He will bring that help to you as needed. Amen. And live right and walk upright. Praise God. But today I have a special guest with me, and I'd like to welcome my guest for today's show on God's Health Plan for You, to SHARA Walker. Welcome to SHARA. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. Glad to have you on the show today.
Thank you for having me. I'm
Okay,
excited.
wonderful. Okay, great. I am too. Well, as I am excited with all guests, to Shara Walker, she is the founder and operator of her business, Mama Shara, which is about herbs and other products. And before we get into that, first to Shara, tell us a little bit of background history about yourself.
Well, I pretty much grew up in the Bronx all my life. I graduated from Truman High School, and right now I'm working as an executive assistant at a technology firm in the city. And I have a 29-year-old son and two grandkids. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just love to travel and try to help people live a healthier life.
Okay, well, that sounds like a good, well-rounded life, from childhood even up until now. God bless you on you and your family. And then also now we want to get into the core of what this show is going to be about, you and your products. So what made you get started with herbal products? How did you come about getting into that?
Well, back in 2010, my mom passed away of cancer, and at that time is when I decided to, I said let me start taking my health a little bit more seriously, and that's when I just started looking into different herbs, and because then maybe about 2 years later, too um, I came down with gastritis, and I wanted to find a natural way to cure myself, also with migraines and stuff. So that's what led me into looking into different herbs and how I can heal myself naturally, aside from taking, prescribed medications.
Okay, wonderful. And when you said you started coming down with these symptoms and occurrences that you have, did you talk to your doctor about it? Because I'm sure he was giving you prescribed medicine, or was it something that you just moved into on your own? Let me start looking into other ways than medication and to do this.
Exactly. They did prescribe, I took all the tests for the migraines, and they were ready to prescribe me some medications that I looked into. I always look up what are the side effects of these medications, and they were going to cause more harm than good, potentially. So I always looked at the bad first, and, versus the good. And I just looked into alternate ways to cure myself. And I did talk to them, especially with the gastritis. I talked to my doctor and said, look, I did my research. This is what I am choosing to do. These are the things I'm going to take to cure myself naturally. And she agreed. She said, you're absolutely right. This will work. It's going to take longer. So if you're willing to wait it out, she said, then by all means, go ahead and do it.
Wonderful. And this is where, like, my show first got its birth from, with me as the Lord spoke to me. And I'm talking back in as far back as 1999 when I started this show with the inspiration, God's Health Plan from You, because a lot of our intake is from natural resources.
Yeah.
And a lot, and I say from the Bible myself, looking into the Bible, but also a lot of cures can be um, manifested from the natural earth and natural resources. And like you said, you spoke with your doctors, which is a good thing. And what we advise everybody, always talk to your physicians and get their advice. But then also you gravitated to find what can equate from those prescribed drugs and medications to natural herbs and natural herb remedies, if I might say it right. You can correct
Correct.
me and go into it. So what did you find as a remedy for you, for what you had?
For my migraines, I found out that moringa, it's called moringa leaf, I can't pronounce the uh, actual terminology for it, but it's moringa leaf. It's a green leafy herb, and I found that the minerals and the vitamins in the moringa gave my body what it needed to, to diminish or alleviate the migraines that I was receiving. Because a lot of times we do experience, our bodies are craving for certain minerals and vitamins that just our daily intake of food or even just your daily vitamin, it's just not providing for you. So the moringa helped with my migraines, so I no longer suffer from those. And then when I did come down with gastritis, it was a combination of eliminating certain foods from my diet that were very acidic. And then they were very acidic. And then also, I just needed to find something that was going to help build up the lining of my stomach, because that's what the gastritis basically is. It's a wearing down and erosion of your stomach lining. So I just researched that and found out all the natural herbs that will help with that.
Right. And I like that because part of God's health plan for you and is finding a combination that it is the total of your mind, body, and your soul. And it's a combination of what's good for you and knowing what's for you and your body personally. And the fact that you found out what it is for you, and you found out that you said it was your stomach lining, and what do I need to do to help this? And because we can hear generalities sometimes, or take this, take that, but what's advisable, find out what's happening with you and what can remedy you, in that. And I appreciate that. And I like that. I applaud that. And then you found other supplements outside of the headaches. Because see, when I had a headache, I used to go to sleep because I didn't like taking a lot of Tylenol. So I don't want to name products, but I didn't like taking a lot of medications. I would just go in the room and fall asleep and hope the headache went away, whether it was from stress or overworked out. And then I would try to understand what caused me to get that headache and what did I do before that. And then also myself, I started changing my daily intake and food habit, my food diet. Diet doesn't always mean to lose weight, but diet means to find out your proper intake of food. Am I saying that?
Exactly. Yes. Proper intake of food, what's going to give you the best nutrients and vitamins that your body needs to keep fueling the body, to eliminate certain, ailments in the body. Yes, exactly.
So, good. And one product that you said you had migraines because meringue, what you spoke of, I've heard of that before also. And I know that that's a good product. But also, you kind of not make products, but you produce foods yourself, like ginger tea, because from you kind of gravitated and extended yourself, into something different. Tell us about
that. I actually extended over to ginger teas. I do have a few here. So I have my turmeric ginger tea, and I also have my ginger hibiscus tea. So these were started originally from the gastritis as well. I found that ginger tea would help soothe my stomach. So I started off just making just a straight ginger tea with water, ginger, and lemon. And then as time went on, I said, well, let me try to add some other things to it that have other great health benefits as well. Hibiscus is great for kidneys. Turmeric is great for inflammation in the body. So yes, I ventured off to the teas, which are great for you. And then I also started with some nut bars as well. So the ginger teas, like I said, they're great for your stomach, for digestion, nausea, the gastritis, of course. So they're just really good for you. And like in the turmeric as well, inflammation in the body. A lot of times, most, even like a cut you have is inflamed, right? So inflammation and mucus in the body are one of the number one causes of diseases. So if you can help eliminate mucus and inflammation in the body, the better off and healthier off you will be.
Okay, great. Because my picture, my explanation of health, and not just mine, you can go to a dictionary or Google it, but and find health is the condition of being sound and body, mind, and spirit, body, mind, and soul. It is a balanced state of well-being. So we look at our total health picture personally of ourselves. And when you understand you yourself and what it is for you to gain total health prosperity, then you can pretty much know what is needed for you and your body,
Yeah.
know what's needed for you, because our body is our physical and our environment. Okay, our physical being, how we take care of our body, make sure you eat right, you eat healthy, and you get enough sleep, exercise, our environment. What's in your environment around you? Your neighborhood, things that are around you that help in your total mindset and your good body, spiritual and physical environment. Our mind is our emotional, our mental health. What's happening with our emotional being and our mental being and mindset, and then our spirit, our soul, our salvation, our eternity. What are we doing in our inner spirit, our inner womanhood, manhood, to keep us focused in the right direction of a good prosperity of life? So, health is a condition of being sound in body, mind, and spirit, a balanced well-being of all. And a lot of times, with people, a lot of our situations, our depressions, our downfall, have to do with our health and our finances. And today's topic, which is you as a guest, focusing on our health. I focus on financial health in another show, but our health and well-being. So with the ginger teas, I even asked you a question. What does that help? And you just kind of explained that. You make these products yourself, you say.
Yes, I make the products myself. I make the labels myself. I
Yeah,
bottle them.
you
Yes.
bottle them. You're your own manufacturer.
Yes, I am.
That's good. And we'll get into your website and all that a little bit later. And you did give me a sample of your products and I appreciated them. They were very well good. And another part of your products, another product you gave me was the nut bar or the fruit bar you gave. Tell us about
Yeah, so it's our nut bar.
it. Okay.
There are four ingredients, well, a little bit more than four, but we have four nuts. So it's pecans, almonds, walnuts, and cashews, and then semi-sweet chocolate chips and cranberries. And I started making these at home just for myself because I love sweets, I love salt, but I wanted to be a little bit more healthier with it. So I said, let me just create something that I can kind of just like snack on, but that's also still healthy for me. It gives me energy. Sometimes I just have this and some tea in the morning, and it pulls me through to like 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So yeah, it was just a healthy snack that I wanted to create for myself, and it's doing amazing. People love it.
Okay, that's great. And one question I have to ask. So you make these because I was amazed that you packaged them and you even make the packages for the nut bars.
Yes, yes, I do.
Okay. And the bottles for the ginger tea, the labels, and you do that yourself.
Yes, I sit and I seep down, I boil down all the ingredients for the teas, I let them cool, I add the ingredients, wash out the bottles, I pour it into the bottles, put the labels on, and and then I do a lot of pop-up shops. So this is where I'm selling them on online and at pop-up shops as well.
Okay, great. Because what I was going to ask also, before you got that far with the pop-up shops, and we all do in our craft and in our talents, whether it's food or whatever that talent is. Who were your first customers? Who did you practice on? Besides you and yourself having the migraines or whatever, did you share that with family members, friends, or extended that those curative products to other people?
Well, actually with the supplements, I was taking them at first just in a powder form in a tea for myself. And then my significant other, once I met him, he was always getting sick a little bit, but I couldn't get him to take it in a powder form. So that's when I started creating the capsules. And so he was pretty much my first person that I had take the capsules, and he hasn't gotten sick since. So
okay, wonderful.
yeah, yep.
So,
and then the nut bars. I feel like my first customer actually of the nut bars was my brother. He lives in Colorado. He's a mailman, so he's out a lot. So
right.
he was the first one to actually try these, and he attested to giving him so much energy, and where he didn't have to go stop and eat because he really didn't have the time. So it was really a great carry along snack for him.
Right.
To have him all day.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, and I'm sure they're thankful that you kind of introduced or imposed those products on them.
Yes.
They're feeling much better after that, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, great. And maybe they can pass it on because marketing. They say, what's the best form of marketing? People will say a business card, a flyer, the website, but usually the most positive and the most productive, exactly, form of marketing is word of mouth.
Exactly.
Word of mouth. Because it's nothing like hearing somebody else say, hey, yes, I've tried this. Yes, this person did good and get well. That word of mouth. Because we ourselves like to know that somebody else that we know and we can trust and count on tried this. They said it's okay. They give it an A++, and then we're there.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't give advice because I'm not certified, but what I will do is say I will suggest certain things, and then I might send them a link or something to just information about that particular herb and say, here, check it out for yourself, read up for yourself, and you'll see that this will help, X, Y, and Z. So I give suggestions, I never advise.
Right. And that was one of my questions. Do you give consultations? But that's good. Like you said, you will suggest and you will give referrals. And one thing is good, like not to just take what I say, but follow up on it and read up on it for yourself. And that's great. That's a very honest way to be. Have you engaged in any like street fairs or expos or where you set up a demonstration of your products, your foods?
Like I said, I do pop-ups on the weekends in different locations throughout the Bronx and in Harlem. I haven't done any demonstrations, but what I will do at the pop-ups, I will have samples of the teas and of the nut bars. Of course, I can't sample, the capsules or whatever, but I do give samples of the nut bars and the teas and let people try it out. And like once they try it, that's it. They love it.
Okay, that's great. And all of this you do yourself. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Exactly.
And when you give these pop-ups, you have references like websites or referrals references where people can get back to you.
Yeah, so of course I have my business cards with me at the pop-up shop. So they, I make sure I give everyone a business card, and they can always go visit the website. Sometimes they do. I make sure I do have information readily available to me there. So because people do ask questions about different supplements, so I do have information to give them while I'm there with them. And give them, a little bit of advice of what they should take them for. And most people do. What I find is that most people who ask about the supplements, they've already heard about them, and so now that it's right there in their face, they can go ahead and try it. And I think they feel a little bit more comfortable purchasing it from someone, in person versus ordering online or whatever. So.
Okay, great. And tell us the name of your product or the name of your company again. Let's hear you say
it. Mama SHARA Herbs.
Okay, Mama SHARA Herbs. Yes, that's it. So where do you see yourself leading into the future? Because you're not going to let this stop. This is something great, beautiful that you're doing.
Thank you. No, I don't want it to stop. I had just thought about it the other day. I'm like, where am I trying to go with this?
Right.
And I would love for, if not even the supplements, Definitely the teas and the nut bars. I would love to see them in a store somewhere, in a retail store. I don't know, if maybe like Whole Foods or I'm doing a lot of research now to try to see who I can partner up with
Right.
to get the teas and nut bars, or even there's little health food shops in my area where I live now, and I'm going over, walking over and trying to see if they would like to uh, have the supplements in capsule form in their stores. I'll even make them. Some people might have their own herbs, and I can just put them in capsules for them, because it's very time consuming, and a lot of people
Right.
don't want to take the time to do that. So eventually, I would love to see my products in the store.
Okay, that sounds great. And I know during this summer, and especially with the pandemic lifting a little bit, COVID, there are a lot of functions going on outside,
Yeah.
in parks and in different recreational centers, and opportunities for pop-ups to come about. So I hope, um, this show can help to open up uh, who you are and what you're about to the outside world, to the public, and that you'll get some calls and responses to come on out and show off your products. Okay, and hope you
Thank
get
you
a lot of
so much.
responses.
I hope so as well. I really thank you for taking the time to bring me onto your show today, and
Okay.
showcasing my products. I really appreciate it.
Okay, so we have Tashara Walker as our guest on God's Health Plan for You. And remember, this show is about you, about the community, and how you make that connection, and really on health and the natural processes of health, the natural um, of materials of health to prosper you and to have a more healthier life, sustainable. But the main thing is to get started, to take that first plunge. Even with exercises, some people say, well, I'm going to start tomorrow, I'll go to the gym next week. And when that next week comes, you're still not there. Or yes, I'm going to start eating right. You bought the foods, you didn't really start yet. But it takes that initial start to get started. And then the next day you form you form a consistency, and you're more diligent on what you're doing. So we all need to take that first plunge, that first step. So I'm going to bring on to Shara back again, and I'm going to ask her a very intimate, delicate question. What was it that initiated you, that gave you that spark to take that first plunge to open up and do what it is that you're doing now?
I would say that, well, I started my website back in November of last year. And so I didn't have that much exposure. So I knew that I had to get out in front of people in order to, to get a buzz going. So I have a friend who's also an entrepreneur, and she has a skincare line, and she suggested that I started this pop-up called Space on Pleasant in Harlem. And because it was very small and intimate, and she thought that would be a great place for me to start, since I was very nervous, and it's just small and intimate. So there was 4 vendors and a food vendor there, and the hosts were very welcoming. They were very supportive, and I didn't go into that initial pop up with the hopes of, oh, I just want to sell out and make a bunch of money. I really was going in for the networking, for the exposure. It just really, just to get a feel for what it was like, and just jump right in there. And I got all of that. I made sales. I met new people. I got advice. People gave me constructive criticism on the packaging, on the product. They got a lot of networking that day. So it was a really, really great experience. So I do attribute a lot of my customers to my very first pop-up at Space on Pleasant.
Okay, wonderful, amazing. And this has been a very informative um, show that you've been with me on. And also, it shows about information, and also the discipline of it. Because one thing with doing something like with what you're doing, or anybody started a business, the discipline has to be there, because there's nobody over you, behind you, nudging you. You have to get up. You have to go out and buy your products. You have to get up knowing to make it, and know what to do with it. So in these closing few minutes, just express and encourage those who are watching and are thinking about getting it started. Give them some words of encouragement and information and discipline on just to jump out there and do it.
What I will say is, if you are really serious about starting your own business, whatever it may be, make sure it's something that you are passionate about.
Yes.
Don't just pick something and say, oh, this person is doing this or this person doing that, or, this is the hottest thing going on. Make sure it's something that you are truly passionate about, that you hold dear to your heart, because that's when you will put 110% of your sweat and tears into, because it takes a lot of work. It does take a lot of hard work, dedication, late nights. I have a full-time 9-to-5 job. So after 5 o'clock, I'm still working on my business, and you have to be dedicated. Before I did the pop-ups, there was a list of things that I had to make sure I had set up before I could even make myself ready for that. And even before pop-ups, just even starting the online business, there are a number of things that you need to do to make sure you set up your EIN, your LLC, and so a lot of YouTube video watching, a lot of researching, and testing out things.
Okay.
And willing, so
yes.
You just have to make sure you're very passionate about what it is that you want to sell, and just give it your all. Don't give up, because it gets hard, especially when you're doing it by yourself. So.
Wonderful. Thank you. But you said it all, and thank you for that. And like SHARA said, be passionate, be willing, and make sure it's something that you like to do, because then you won't be working too hard for the rest of your life. Thank you very much SHARA again for this interview, for the information, and for your demonstration of perseverance in the business. Okay.
Thank you.
Again, this is God's Health Plan for You. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right now.
A lot of kids who see me see the life that an artist lives, and the touring that we do, and the music that we make, and see this career that we have is super fun, and there's no way you could be sad or mad or depressed about anything. But, I deal with the same issues as well. Taking care of yourself and making sure you don't always feel alone is kind of the most important part. What you really need is a friend. Kind of just recharges your soul in a way. Anytime my friends kind of beat around the bush about stuff, I like to call them out on it. If you feel something in your gut, if you feel something's wrong, you should talk to them about that. I know it may seem awkward and difficult to reach out to a friend who's struggling with mental health, but the best thing you can do is be a friend. Start the conversation and learn more at seizetheawkward.org.